live. And if not, I cut myself off a couple seconds early. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Friday. Everybody's favorite day of the week, not because it is the end of the week, but because it's time to get together on Pi Day Friday. Let me try something here. There we go. Okay, that's working. All right, see if we can clean that up a little bit. Well, I look fuzzy. I've made some studio changes. I am constantly making studio changes. Um, New light. Okay, I got this great big 18-inch ring light. I'm experimenting with it. I don't know. I seem a little hot, but we'll get there. Anyways, good afternoon, everybody. I am Dave Rush, your erstwhile host of Pi Day Friday, also known as Drama. Dave Rush Ask Me Anything. We get together every Friday at 2 o'clock Central Time and talk about all things CompTIA and Raspberry Pi and how the two of them can work together. And man, do I have a Raspberry Pi project today that has nothing to do with CompTIA preparations. But, you know, sometimes you just got to have some fun with it. And that is what we're going to do today. Do I need notes? Nah. But I do need to open up this handy dandy screen. You know what, we can do this way. I'm alone today. Andrew was able to make it last week, missed the week before, and he's got to miss today. He's got some kind of critically important event that I fully support him missing today. So all is cool. Got to tell you, man, I have had a project on my shoulders that has been dragging at the office. And last night, I really got into it. Let's put it that way. It's been an okay, you know, it's been a slow slog, but it's been going. But then something happened a day or two ago that the software that I was using, the license expired on it. I was using it unlicensed for its 30 days that you could operate unlicensed. And then, okay, and then we had a license, we're all ready to go. Just the time came. So, okay, no big deal. I went to install the license, and there was some challenges there about which account name do we use and so forth. But when I went to install the license, it said, oh, this is out of date. We won't let you install the license on here. You've got to upgrade. Okay, you know, as long as it doesn't cost me anything, what do I care? So I said yes to the upgrade, and I licensed it. And oh, I'm sure the upgrade is wonderful. I'm sure it does great things, but all the menus were changed. All of my settings were changed. It's a call it a screen capture program, a video screen cap program. So all the audio levels got changed. That was really a major issue for me. And I had to beat it up for 3 or 4 hours to get it all back to the settings that I had before. And so when I usually try to crank out about 5 of these a day, I got 45 to go, give or take. I got 2 done between, I don't know, 6 o'clock and 11 o'clock last night. Now we're back in business and ready to go. I do this at night. The missus is involved in the process. It's not something that one person can do. And since we're not doing it at the office, I could do it at the office. No, we can't. The air conditioners are so loud. I can't get in the real studio. So we created a little studio someplace else in the offices. It was, you know, kind of quiet and isolated, but the equipment's too good. The microphones are too sensitive. Not normally a bad thing, right? But so we said, not just to heck with that. I'll take it home and I'll build it out. I've got a home studio. My home studio is busy, so I built it out in the kitchen. All right, we're ready to go. We're going to do kitchen recordings, and my air conditioners, I have to turn them off. My refrigerator, I have to unplug. I got a little micro refrigerator that holds a 6-pack of sodas. I had to unplug that. And then the overhead lights in the kitchen are fluorescent. That gets picked up. Can you believe it? So we get everything. The house is effectively powered down. We're doing recordings. We're doing changes and fixes on it. And the temperature is just rising and rising and rising. This is Houston, folks. It is not a cool place in which to do these kinds of things. So at any rate, I know it has nothing to do with anything here or there, but I just thought I'd have a little bit of fun. Hey, so quick intros here. Again, I am Dave Rush. I work for Total Seminars as the senior instructor. This is an Ask Me Anything. We focus on any of the CompTIA courses. If you're studying for exams, you've got questions that you need to help prep for that or anything about our study materials, terrific. We put a lot of focus in Raspberry Pis on how you can use a Raspberry Pi as a tool to help foster your learning in any certification. I don't care if it's CompTIA, whatever you've got. Raspberry Pis are just a great way to build servers and make web servers and mail servers and file servers and SMB servers and on and on and on. I've been experimenting a lot this week with SQL servers, relational databases. And oh, I got to tell you about this project. Yeah, I didn't put it in my notes. I got to tell you before I forget. I'm working on a project for the book and for the upcoming A+ video courses. One of the new objectives is you got to know about ticketing systems. Ticketing systems are not how you go get entry into the movie theater. A ticketing system is a system where we start, track, and complete an event. We use ticketing systems in repair facilities and troubleshooting things like that. So when a customer calls up, okay, we open up a ticket, and then that ticket tracks who we've talked through and what's happened and things that have done until the case finally gets closed and the ticket gets closed. A lot of ticketing systems out there, and I found one that says it runs on a Raspberry Pi. So we thought, hey, you know what? Let's install one of these and get it going. I spent almost every waking moment yesterday before I started on the recordings in the evening on it. And I should abandon it. I'm going to put one more day's effort into it, but it started out with Raspberry Pi operating system, and then you're supposed to do this, and then you're supposed to do that. And it failed so miserably, and workarounds weren't possible. I said, all right, let's abandon that. Let's install Ubuntu on Raspberry Pi. There's a lot of instructions on how to set this thing up using Ubuntu. Excuse me, hiccups. They are all out of date. I want to get into the details of this. No, I don't. If I get it up and running and get the process refined, we're going to do it as a project. But right now, very pessimistic about that. So what are we doing here? We're here to advance technical learning while isolated during the COVID crisis. We are less and less isolated. We have to change the text on that a little bit. It is a total 7 hours production, and my gratitude to Mike Myers for letting me have this time and this platform to get together with you to talk about these things. We do it every week, every Friday, 2 o'clock Central Time for anywhere from 2 to 4 hours. This will be a 4-hour show today. Not a 4-hour show. 1 to 2 hours. This will be a 2-hour show today. Did I say that wrong? Hey, I got the Pi-Square server up and running. It has all of today's stuff in it. You want today's stuff. Okay, so go and visit pirsquare.zapto.org. Hey, I have a slide with that kind of stuff up there. I don't have Andrew, so I'm not going to do a lot of copy and pasting and putting things in the YouTube chat because I got a lot of material to cover, and that'll chew up more time than I want to. Oh, I didn't. Do I have a slide for that? No, I need that. Okay, now I'm kind of forced to. Anyways, it's pirsquare, pirsquare.zapto, zapto.org. It's not HTTPS, it's just HTTP. Go there and then go to the download page, and on the download page, today's show is always the last one on there. It's April 29th. This is the last time we get together in April. Mike's show on Monday is in May, as is my next Friday show. Beg your pardon. And download stuff. Why do you want today's stuff? Well, because there are files in there that are a lot easier to get from me than to go out online and hunt for them. However, I will tell you before the day is up how and where to go out online and hunt for these things. But if you're watching this thing on the archive, my stuff is still on the server. I run the server all weekend. I fire it up on Friday morning. I shut it down on Sunday night. If you're watching this sometime in the middle of the week and you want to get my stuff, oh, but the server's down. Yes, the server is down. I will bring the server up. All you have to do is contact me. Dave, how do I contact you? I'm glad you asked that question. I have a number of ways that I can be contacted. Of course, the ideal is if you are watching the show live, talk to me on the chat feed. And if you're not watching me live, you're watching this on the archive, then you can always contact me via email at my company address. My name is Dave Rush. I work for Total Seminars. And so it's daver@totalsem.com. Or you can use my personal email address, drushtx@yahoo. And just let me know when you need it up. I'll put it up probably an hour or two before then, unless you say, I need it up in 10 minutes. Okay. And I'll leave it up for an hour or two after your request. So. If you want to get in touch with Andrew, he's not with us today, but many of you know him. He's a great source of information, especially when it comes to security and hacking these days. He's becoming very proficient in networking, solid A+ guy, good writer, good editor, a lot of other credentials to his name. He's Andrew Hutz. He works at Total Seminars. So Andrew H@totalsem.com. You could even contact Big Mike himself that way. He's Michael M@totalsem.com. And as long as I get this up, let's take care of this stuff. Just because you're kind enough to join us here on the AMAs, we have a special discount only for you. We do not communicate these weekly discounts through any other channel. So you can pick up a total tester and an ebook bundle. You got to make your own bundle and get them at 50% off. How do I do that? Well, you start by going to our website, www.totalsem.com, and you go to the merchant area and you pick an area of study that you want to get certified in, or you want to know something about, like A+ or Net Plus or Pen Test Plus or whatever. And you get 2 items from the inventory and you put them in your basket. You get the ebook for the topic in question, and you get the total tester practice test. Put those both in your basket. And when you check out, the code this week through this Sunday night, May 1st, is DNA. Yep, deoxyribonucleic acid, the double helix. Monday of this week in 1953, Crick and his partner, whose name nobody ever remembers, including me, they published in Nature their discovery of the double helix. And so we are celebrating the discovery of the double helix of DNA today. It takes care of that. After the show and any other time, 24 hours a day, there was the Total Seminars, the unofficial Total Seminars Discord channel. It's 350 plus people on that channel, technicians of all levels and people with all kinds of other experiences in computing and non-computing stuff. There's forums over there for Raspberry Pis and Linux, and help. I need help with my computer. And hey, I'm studying for A+. Anybody want to study with me? And lots and lots and lots and lots of other seminars. Encourage you to join us on Discord. This is a permanent link. And this, I guess I will have to put in. Well, let's see, what am I looking for here? Where's the hand? There's the hand. No, I don't want the hand. I want the arrow for selecting text. Okay, I can copy and paste this. And then you can just click on this link if you like, or I'll put it up there as soon as I close this share. Or you can always pause this page right now and type all this stuff in. It is case sensitive. Our old Discord server, the old Discord server, it's not ours, we don't have anything to do with it. Used to change the code every week, but now this one stays the same until somebody decides that's not working for us anymore. I don't know what that is. Tutorial link. Oh, okay. So we'll come back to that. All right. Stop share. You go over here, add this handy dandy little link. Oh man, I didn't do my welcome to drama. I'm not going to bother. I'll save that for next week. And let's see who's been kind enough to join us today. That's a good crowd. Good crowd. Let me see here. Tolowit first in at half an hour before showtime. Welcome, Tolowit. Thank you. And thank you for forwarding that message yesterday. If you didn't see this yesterday, if you're not on Discord, or if you are on Discord and didn't see this, go to the general forum sometime last night around, I don't know, 6, 7 o'clock, something like that, Central Time. And Mike Myers has asked for a favor of all who know and love him, and that is to make a 10-second phone video, no more than 10 seconds, that says how much I learned from Mike Myers, and send that video to an email link. I have no idea what the purpose of it is. He sent that message to me and said, please ask the Discord folks to do this. So You don't have, I know some people, somebody said he was uncomfortable with doing that if you didn't know and understand it. Okay, that's understandable. I did it. I work for Mike, but even if I didn't, I like Mike and I would have done it as a personal favor. So if you're feeling like doing Mike a favor, apparently that would be a very good thing for him. Even, I mean, he asked all the employees to do it. So I don't know what's going on, but apparently it involves a high body count. More people, the better, right? Will Shaw poked in about 15 minutes later. Good afternoon from COVID Town, USA. Been a while since I've had this much congestion. I'm so sorry. Yes, you are doomed. There's a pun there that we will explain later. It's Arbor Day, huh? I didn't know that. I got to go. That's, you got to cut down a tree, right? That's a George Washington thing. Yeah. So, okay. Things are not their normal color. I had a thing. Okay. It's not vanity. It's something that I had to do. And so in 6 weeks, all the brown will go away and it will return to its beautiful silver fox. But until then, yeah, things are just a little browner. My wife wants to chip in. What do you got, Mrs.? Oh my. Yeah, I know. This is what kind of like what I looked like when we first met. It may turn out that in 6 weeks, when all that silver's showing through, she says, you know, maybe that bottle is not an expensive thing we need. I have a picture, you know, we all have our little picture shrine of the family growing up and everything. And, you know, we got the wedding photos. I didn't have a beard when I was wedding photos because I was in food service back then. But shortly after my son was born, I'd long since gotten out of food and was back into beard and mustache. And it's a beautiful dark brown beard and mustache. And then, of course, first child, it just started going gray seconds after that. And I think by the time my kid hit 10, I was pretty well Michael McDonald gray. If you get that joke. Elden Ring on Raspberry Pi. Yeah, at Crisis, right. That's the stock joke. Very good. Yeah, it's the light. It's still silver, I promise. It's the new big ring light. It's got an amber filter on it that makes silver look brown. Sorry, man. Daniel Klein is amongst us today. G'day, Total Sim Techies, as are you, Jared Graham. Jared, was that you who just passed a CompTIA and posted? There can't be two Jareds that post their name that way. If that's you, pretty sure it is. Big round of applause. Taco also passed. I don't know if it was A+ or Net Plus, but he passed something good. So kudos to him. You are isolated. Yeah, I was reading an article today that says pretty much everyone in the country, there's a few exceptions, but almost everyone has had some flavor of it or not. The missus and I had it in January. Very mild, I'm happy to say. Andre de Goyert is here early. Something wrong with this. I don't notice it. It's been a week for me, so I just completely forgot. I was in the office for a couple of days this week on Wednesday, and nobody said boo. Thank them, and thank you for all just piling on. Thanks, man. Yeah, I know it came out darker than everything else because it's bushier. You know, when you go into a bottle, things you need to learn. I've done this in bottles before, but usually because of I'm in a play or something like that. There is a different product for hair than there is for beard. The hair is a liquid that you can kind of squirt on. The beard stuff, it's a 2-part cream that you have to mix up, and it's like toothpaste, and you brush it in with a tiny little brush and wait it out. It's quite the experience. So hello, Con. Thank you for the good looking stash line. You can even teach Mike that way. I've sent a message yesterday. Thank you very much. Something with a live stream. Very good. The cat. For those of you who weren't aware, Mike did the show remotely on Wednesday. It was really weird because he didn't give me a heads up. I turned up at the office a couple hours before the show, and sometimes he's there all morning, beats me in, and sometimes on show days he turns up 20-30 minutes before the show and starts prepping, and it's getting 20 minutes till, and I'm in somebody else's office talking with them, Michael Smyer, in fact. And I said, hey, by the way, have you seen Mike? He's got a show in 20 minutes. Oh, he's doing it remote. He told you, he didn't tell me. My goodness, I'm working the back channel. So, okay, so Mike does a show on Wednesday. It's a normal show. It goes very well, as ever and always. He shuts down at the end of the show. And then at 5 o'clock in the morning, my time, Tullowit starts DMing all of the Discord members that work for Total Seminars. Say, hey, the live stream is streaming again. None of us got that message until around 7:30. And so 7:30, I get up at 7, and I see this message from Tullowit, and what the heck? And I run downstairs, and sure enough, there's a live stream going on, and people are watching Melissa's cat. He recorded it at Melissa's house, a little north of me. And so apparently what had happened is the cat had walked on the keyboard of the computer that had gone to sleep. And so the computer woke up, and it remembered one of the last things it was doing is it was live streaming. So it just reestablished that session and started live streaming again. And so it streamed for a couple hours while the cat walked back and forth, apparently. We got it fixed, we got it cleaned up, but there is no guarantee that that won't happen again. The cat is innocent. Sorry, there is no innocent cat. There is no time that your cat, if you're a cat owner, there is no time in that cat's life that it is not planning to murder you, except when you are pouring food in its bowl or when it's completely wiped out from exhaustion. But the second it wakes up and it's not eating, it's planning your doom. Hi, Ping. Yes, Cat AMA. All right, well, that takes care of all of that. We're caught up on questions. Let me go see what's in notes. I got good notes today. I got fun notes. I think I do. AMA stream. That's not a note. That's the 2020 stream for when somebody posts. Hey, somebody on Discord. No, I'm not going to do that. If the person who posted on Discord, I think it was yesterday and maybe a follow-up today about Pi-hole and stopping ads. If you're here, post your question on here and I'll address it. But otherwise, it's not in my list of things to talk about, so people probably don't want to hear about it, eh? All right, did that. Did the specials are good through Sunday night. We'll do a new code on Monday morning. Do you need, okay, so we're gonna do a project today. We mostly do projects. Last couple of weeks, for a couple of reasons, we had no projects, but we're back in the swing of things. So we're doing a project today, and the project is installing Doom, the old 1993 4 or 5 game, then extended for a number of years, on a Raspberry Pi. And got to tell you, this is an awesome project. It's really, really, really easy to do. It's really, really, really quick to do. It's fun if you want to go do retro gaming. And what's really awesome about it, really, 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 is it's perfect. Everything that the old Doom did, you can do. You can network with it. You can play solo. It looks great. The graphics are identical. If you don't do it remotely over a connection, if you use a real directly connected monitor, it is smooth and sweet and gorgeous and fun. All right, so why am I saying all that now? Because at this point in the show, we always say, we're going to do a project today. Do you need a Raspberry Pi in order to accomplish this project? Yes, for the steps that we're going to do today. However, Doom was released as open source back in 95, 2 years, just 2 years after its commercial release. And it has been ported for everything since. Stock Linux, x86 Linux, all kinds of other goodies. So it's very easy. Obviously, you can run it on a PC, on a Windows machine, or a retro Windows or DOS machine. It's been ported to run on Macs. It's been ported to run on all kinds of flavors of Linux. And so the answer to the question, if you want to do what we're doing today using the steps we're doing today, yeah, you need a Raspberry Pi. So where we've been, where we're going. Last week, I was under the weather. Sorry. Someday over a beer, I'll explain it to you, but not today. Plan this week has been for the last 3 weeks, whiptail bash scripting. I've never been happy with that as a topic, but I've always had it written up. It's in my pocket to do. But I wasn't sure how it fits in the goals of drama. It's scripting. Okay, I can say that, but I don't know. So I'm going to keep it in my pocket, and we'll do other things. I've come up with a whole bunch of new projects in the last week, having fired up Doom, and that got me fired up on some other things. By the way, the Castle Wolfenstein, which uses the same engine, that also has been ported and runs beautifully on a Raspberry Pi. So all those kinds of early mid 90s to late 90s 3D games that have been released into open source, you can do that on. And I will probably on a short break on the weekend install Wolfenstein on this. So I'll have Wolfenstein and Doom on that same machine, and I will just teleport myself back to 1995 every now and again. Okay, what are we doing here? So was going to be Whiptail scripting, but it's not. We are going to install Doom. I loved Doom back then, and having installed it and tested it, I love it again. So let me fire up. I'm going to put in the chat feed the link for the tutorial that I based today's show on. And I think I can also put that up on a slide. I hear wonking. I muted my Discord server. Well, I'm connected to a Discord server. It's probably that one that's wonking. Sorry about that if you're hearing it. Okay, I just posted the link. I guess I should say install Doom on RPi tutorial. All right, that's in the chat feed at the current time. Looks like it's about 26 minutes past the hour. Let me throw that up on. Yeah, I do have a tutorial link, so I can share that. And shall share screen. Click, go. This is a pretty good tutorial. I haven't had to make any corrections to it. You can follow it along on their thing, and I do at some point refer you in today's presentation to go to that tutorial so you can find downloadable games, versions of Doom and iterations of Doom. So this is a useful link to have. And as I said, I'm going to show you how to install the original game. And I also have in my, archives, Doom 2, Doom 3, TNT, and Pandemonium, I think is what it was called. So if you download my archive documents today from pirsquare.zapto.org, you can get all those without having to go hunt around. But there are hundreds of Doom games out there. Cool. Shrink that. I don't need that for an hour. Let me go mute that server. I'm sorry about this. Gwonk, gwonk, gwonk. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, that's why it's happening over there. I didn't mute this server. So mute this one for 3 hours. Okay, this one should still be muted. It is. Okay, back in business. Sorry about that. Back to notes. Did that. Oh, cool. We're already down to news, tricks, and techniques of the week. So let's go back, see more posts and comments and questions. Feels light today. Yeah, we got a good body count though. Yes, okay. So Jared Graham, many congratulations on passing A+. I'm pretty sure that was, but I don't know. Somebody I saw on Discord yesterday passed Net Plus, and somebody passed A+. So whichever you did. Nice to see you, Catherine Morgan, being the advocate for felines. Good for you. And as we said, Ping is here. That's propaganda. Will Shaw, I wonder if Raspberry Pi Doom will network with my 46 Doom. There is no reason to believe that it wouldn't. Sounds like an experiment we ought to try. Oh, at Dave Rush. That is me and Andre. Okay. All right, I understand. I may be able to take a look at it before show's end, but if not, end of show. Yeah, I got it. In Batcave on Discord. Yeah. Oh, I need TNT and plutonia experiment. Those wads were hard. Yep. What's a wad? Since Will Shaw mentions it. So games back then became bifurcated. Oh, I love that word. There's a game engine, and then there is a file that constitutes the game, right? It's got all the background and all the characters and the maps and the treasures and the paths. And so when we start working with engines like the Doom engine and like the Wolfenstein, and like so many other games today, you got the game engine, and then you have the game program, the game file, and they were WAD files. They had the extension WAD back then. All right, that gets me caught up there. So let's talk about tricks, traps, and techniques of the week. I don't know why I came up with this thought, but I felt the need to share it. An aviary holds birds. An apiary holds bees. Why doesn't it hold apes? Yeah, I know. That's where my head lives most of the time. So I did mention, by the way, you're watching Drama. I am Dave Rush. This is Dave Rush. Ask me anything. We're going to try and do that commercial in here a little more frequently. Oh, you know what? I should put like an asterisk in the middle of all my notes. Every time I run into that, it'll be like a keyframe. Anyways, so this is the last show, the last AMA from Total Seminars of April. We'll start up again on Monday, May 2nd. Sunday is May 1st. In many parts of the world, that's celebrated as May Day. And next Sunday, if you're here in the US and certain other parts of the world, May 8th is Mother's Day. So you have been reminded, okay, do something nice for your mom and don't wait till the last second. You got a week now to put it together. I'm going to put a link. I didn't make a slide for this. This is a really long link, but I'm going to put a link in the chat feed. Give me 6 seconds. And let me give it a title, so it'll be more than 6 seconds. This is going to be Linux Foundation Scholarships. Folks, you got to be watching right now or sometime today to take advantage of this. I saw this a week ago and I didn't post it because I didn't realize the date deadline. And I apologize for that. Tonight is the deadline, I think. No, tomorrow, the 30th. Scholarship. All right, there's the big link. Oh my gosh, it just fit. 7 characters shy of the max. All right, posted that just now at 32 minutes past the hour. The Linux Foundation. Okay, they are not the people who make and promulgate Linux. They are the people whose organization is devoted to creating and supporting open source applications in the Linux Unix world. Okay, applications are being accepted through April 30th. So they've got scholarships. And it's not for courses that they have, it's for courses that you might want to take. You got to meet one of these categories or be interested in one of these categories and apply for a scholarship for classes, for additional education on your own that will pay for courses. So they've got a dozen different categories here. Again, apologies, I did not create a slide for this, but I'm going to read them off here. Open source newbies, teens in training, women in open source, software developer do-gooder, sysadmin superstar. You want to learn more about being a sysadmin in Linux. That's the category where you're going looking for. Blockchain blockbuster, cloud captain, Linux kernel gurus. There's more. If you go to that link, you'll be able to see all of that stuff that's on there. So if you're interested in getting a scholarship, some funds for additional training in Linux, various areas, hit that link, do it today, do it during the show, do it right after the show. You've got till, I presume, you got till tomorrow. So probably end of business tomorrow. Don't do it in the show today. And there you go. So encourage anybody who's interested in pursuing more information about Linux and says, I can't afford it. These guys may be able to help. Late last week, that's not the way to start. The way to start this is to say, Windows, which we all know and love, Mac OS, which we all know and love, Linux, which we all know and love, all of these products have life cycles. They get introduced, they get improved on for a year or 2 or 3 or however long it is, and then they get replaced by a new version. Linux has run, that's Linux, Windows has kept us on tenterhooks with Windows 10 forever. They finally came out with Windows 11. They promised there would never be another version. I made $1 million on them breaking that promise. Well, the big commercial dog, the one that the US government and the US military runs on, and many corporations, is a distro called Red Hat. And there are 2 to 3 family members of Red Hat that are effectively the same thing as Red Hat. Just an issue of levels of support, who comes out first, stuff like that. But Red Hat is the corporate standard. And we've been on Red Hat 8 for a couple of years now, and support for Red Hat version 8 will continue for some time. However, one of the variants called Alma Linux, they worked very closely with Red Hat, and they decided to release their version 9 beta before Red Hat released theirs. So Alma Linux came out with a beta version 9 a week ago or so. Rocky, we haven't heard when they're going to do theirs. We expect it to be fairly quickly. Call that the upstream, the downstream, and then in the middle is actual Red Hat. Red Hat introduced today or yesterday their Linux version 9. Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9 beta came out in the last 24 hours or so. So I have in my cookbook of things to do, courseware development on achieving Red Hat certifications. So I don't know if I should do development for Linux 8, for Red Hat 8, or if I should hold off until 9 gets stable and their certifications change for 9. We'll see. I finally got connected with the Linux Plus courseware provider, whose course I took on Udemy, and who had 2 major missing pieces. They finally delivered on the 2 major missing pieces. I might have mentioned this a week ago, but I was so fogged last week, I have no idea what I said. So at any rate, I got those 2 courses. I haven't started them yet. Been very busy this week. But I got bash scripting and GitHub, and collectively, I think there's about an hour's worth of material. So I'm going to go through that hour. I'm going to review the whole course again over the course, I think, of 3 days, and then go take the test and get Linux Plus certified. Last of the tricks, traps, and techniques today. Of course, we were going to give away in short order. What is it? It's 37. Oh, before the top of the hour, we will give away Total Test Online practice tests. Notes. Okay, well, that'll be the next thing to do when we get into notes. So let's go see what else is going on here. Excuse me. Weird stuff. All right, reading messages. I'm passing 228. I can't wait to get over there and see what you guys have put, but I'm in the middle of something. It would be poor form to bail out of here and go see what messages have popped up. So I won't. Let's see. You got to put something in Discord for Dave to even check out. He thinks you were sending him something. What? Okay. That was just noise. I thought an 8B area held application APIs. Brilliant. Absolutely. Tullowit. I needed to touch base with you on Discord, probably. I am the recipient of tons of job feeds. I am not in the job market by any stretch. Exciting stuff going on at Total Seminars. And even if I'd had thoughts in the past, and I haven't, about bailing out, now is not the time. I got to tell you, I can't wait until Mike does the big announcement and tells you what all is happening. Nonetheless, because of the nature of my job and things like that, I get wrought out to all over the place with jobs, and 2 very interesting jobs in Hawaii that they look like they're right up your alley. I should have just grabbed the links and sent them to you, but I will do that today. Mike needs to dress as Yoda for Star Wars Day. May the 4th is coming, isn't it? Okay. And we've already been through Pi Day, 314. Oh, am I having surgery? No, not that I'm planning. And we do home surgery here every now and again because that's, fun. But there's a Canadian typo in the description for drama today. Thank you. We'll look at that and get it fixed. It was weird. I got up today and started work. And then sometime I usually do the banner at around 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning on first day. And I didn't do that today. I was too busy doing work. And then 11 something rolled around and I went, oh my gosh, I haven't made the banner yet. And I just did a whip job on it. So yeah, easy enough. Not surprising for there to be a typo. Sorry about that. Andre de Goyert has installed Windows Server 2019 on an old desktop. It's time to play and learn. What can I do with the server? AD, DS, DNS, DHCP permissions, storage, users, and so on. And the answer to that is yes, all of those things. The DHCP server, when you get into that and start configuring it, how can I say this? The DHCP server in Windows Server is to the DHCP server that you find on a Soho router as Oxford is to a Montessori preschool. Okay, the quantity of things that you can do there, the sophistication of things that you can do there. You don't need to know any of that stuff for the trifecta. Okay, you got to know what DHCP is, a couple of the items, know what the scope is, stuff like that. But if you're getting into a Microsoft Server certification, you got to know a lot more about DHCP. If you're going to be a real enterprise level systems administrator and they use Microsoft Server, it's such a powerful tool. It works over multiple networks. It works with DHCP relay and the other real name for it that's escaping me, BootP, the BootP protocol. So powerful, so cool. As far as AD and directory services, yeah, cool. I have been experimenting, dabbling with Open AD on Linux starting a couple of weeks ago, and I will expand that and we'll do some stuff with it. But obviously, you got to know that the resource of choice, especially because you are a moderator on the Unofficial Total Seminars Discord channel, is quite clearly Siegfried. He has spent a good deal of effort learning it, installing it, experimenting with it. I am not a Microsoft Server guru. We have Michael Smyer in-house, who is the guru. Mike Myers, of course, very, very strong Windows Server guy, but that's not my world, I'm afraid. Ulysses Farrar is here. Nice to see you, Ulysses. I just love your name, man. Monday's show is Star Wars Day. Monday is May 2nd. May 4th. May the 4th be with you. That's Wednesday's show. Just, if you're going to call me out on typos, Monday is the 2nd, not the 4th. And you discovered that right away. Wednesday. Yeah, there you go. Pseudo more caffeine. My pleasure. Hey, well, all right. Nothing wrong with making a little headway. Let's give something away. Mike has mentioned, by the way, everybody's asking all the time. So let me answer this question before somebody asks it today. Will there be vouchers again? The answer is Mike is confident that there will be. He had a meeting with CompTIA last Monday, not this most recent one, but the one previous. He said it was a very fruitful conversation, and having come out of that meeting, he says he is comfortable in believing that we will do vouchers again. There's hoops to jump through over on the CompTIA side and so forth. CompTIA? That's for sailors who use computers. But for now, the only giveaways that we've got going on right now are Total Tester Online. And so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to give you 90-day access to any Total Tester Online practice test that's in the Total Seminars litany. We got all the trifecta stuff. We got a lot of CompTIA courses. We got a lot of non-CompTIA courses. There's AWS courses on there and some other goodies. And you can have 90-day access to that if you win today's contest. It will be a challenge because I got no Andrew here and I made it hard. Not that hard. So when we were doing 2 contests, I did one where you had to know something about computer technology or guess. And then the other one was the bigger, better prize. It was the CompTIA voucher. And I did that as a random number guess. So anybody could have an equal chance at it. Well, since we're down to 1, it seems only fair that we do something that everybody's got an equal chance at. So we're going to be doing a random number toss today. And you mostly know the rules. I can't tell how many people are here because I've got different screens open today, but looks like a fair number. So I'm going to ask you to come up with a number in a given range. And I'm going to give you 3 guesses. Can't be all on the same submission line. You got to submit it on 3 different lines and only 3. If I see that you've entered more than 3, it's going to be the first 3 that I'll pick from. The rest of them are ignored. And I would really prefer it if you don't do more than 3, so I don't have to go figure out, is that guess number 4 or 5 or 6 or whatever. Our winner of the Wednesday show put in a whole bunch of them, and Mike was just too busy and needed to get back to work, so he didn't argue with it. But if that were my show, it wouldn't have happened. Let me see. Is that all I needed to talk about on that? You guys know how this works. So you're going to put in a number. The closest to without going over will be today's winners, and I'll post up what you need to do in order to claim your winning. In fact, let me get that kind of pre-prepped in here, and that makes my life a lot easier and makes things happen more quickly. And bring up this page so I can research names and numbers. Not that, you goofball. Voucher winner list. There we go. Okay. If you've won in the past, you can win again. But please, if you've won 2 times, say pass. I may wind up coming back to you if I got no other winners. But we kind of like people who not won or only won once to have a little more of a chance. I'm going to lean in that direction, right? Because we're trying to spread these things out and make them more available to lots more people. We don't need to hoard practice tests. You can always win again after your 90 days, right? You guys are sharp. All right, enough of that nonsense. I don't have a slide for this. I'm just going to give you the range and check last question, see if anything popped up before then. This is going to be good. Yes. Oh, today's show, I can't wait. After this contest, we get started up on Doom. That's just fun. Andre, another beer. That would be irresponsible at 9:46 a.m. Oh, please. Think of all the cultures that have some kind of alcohol for breakfast. Pretend you're in Europe. You'll be fine. Want to do this? I got a call from a regular. I got a phone call. It was one that we had arranged. I allowed this to happen. I had a one-on-one conversation with maybe they're even here right now. Maybe they're watching right now. But it was a gent in the UK, and we had a lovely hour discussion of all kinds of things. There were Linux things, and we talked about Linux companies and things like that. And it was just a really nice, fun conversation. We compared notes, and I was very pleased to discover he's not here today. Zach is not here today. I don't see him on here, unfortunately, but I rib Zach a lot by playing the role of the ugly American. America is huge and gigantic, and all other countries are small and microscopic. And we were talking about that joke, and the gent with whom I was talking about, he said, we make the same joke. It's a small country. We were talking about 2 different cities in England, and if you go from here to there, and he was talking about 2 similarly distanced cities here, Houston to Austin. I think we were talking about. It takes me 2 to 2.5 hours to drive to Austin, and I said, "Well, how long would it be to get from Manchester to Southampton?" And I believe that by train, that's about 2.5 hours. So similar by drive. And he says, "Oh no, it's England, 20 minutes." So it was nice. All right, let's do a contest. Today's contest is to randomly select a number in the range inclusive of 1 to 10,000. I stole this range from the one that Mike did Wednesday with Melissa. By the way, somebody posted a question. Who is Melissa? Melissa is the editor-in-chief of Total Seminars now, our new one. She, man, she's just breaking down the walls, writing like crazy. She's learning our tech like crazy. And she's got a doctorate. She's powerful and smart. All right. So anyways, we're figuring out a random number between 1 and 10,000. You get 3 guesses. Closest to without going over wins. So I'm watching a few numbers trickle in. Over 9,000, says Tullowit. Thank you very much. You're a funny guy. Oh, come on. We got more people here than Chris and Tullowit. They're the only people submitting numbers. Yeah. Okay, now we're starting to see numbers. I'm just reading numbers as we go here, making notes on ones that might be interesting. That's a meme. Okay. All right, I see a potential winner there so far. I'm going to save that one. Yeah, let's put that here. Okay, another 30 seconds here. There's a couple possible winners coming up. Some good numbers there. Hey, I see some names here that we can do some acknowledgments while those numbers are building up. Greetings, Zam. Nice to see you. I'm just starting back on the top of the entry list. Christina Strickland is here. Chris Kent is here, of course. Andre, Daniel Klein, he's already been in so far. Will, Andre, Christina, Ping, Daniel, Will. Vegas Brent is back. Welcome back. Yep. Oh, Cisco Rodriguez. Good to see you back, my friend. I haven't seen you on my show much. You've been on Mike's more. And I love the name Cisco. Tell me, I know it's short for, I presume it's short for Francisco, but sorry, man, I can't see the name Cisco without thinking of Cisco Kid, the song and the old series. What are we doing here? Cisco Vegas, Under Zim, Mike is here, Vegas, TD Washington has passed. All right, we pretty well, yeah, okay, very good. I got it right. It's Francisco. Heavy D is amongst us. All right, I got a winner in this list, I'm happy to say. It was a low number. It was a really, really low number. Everybody went in the middle, as you would with a random number. I used the pseudo random number generator at randomnumbergenerator.com today, excuse me. And it came up when I put that range in with, if you can believe it, 278. And that means our winner today, with a guess of 202, it was the only number, wasn't the only number under 300, but it was certainly the closest one to 278. Christina, congratulations. You win a Total Tester online practice test of your choice. Go visit the TotalSem website and check out the Total Testers that are available to you. And then, Christina, there you are, Strickland. You can use copy paste the information that I just posted in the chat at 2:53 to send me an email. It's got 4 pieces of information in there. Let me put the slide up, which has the same basic information that I posted in there, but I like to see it. This is also in the download archive documents at pirsquare.zapto.org. And you're going to send me this email. Please send me this email in the next couple hours. I try to submit this before the end of business day at here at the office in Central Time. Share screen, this and this. And that gets it in the hands of the appropriate people. And as long as they're not on vacation on Monday morning, they usually get on this stuff first thing Monday. But you know, worst case, somebody's on vacation, you'll get it back the following week. So you're going to send an email to me. In the body of the email, it's the critical part. You must include your YouTube name, your real name, your first and last name, the email address that you want us to send your access information to, and which practice test you would like by exam number. Okay, 220, 10.0x. We do 10.01 and 10.02 together. You get them both. But otherwise, everything else. Don't say Network Plus, because I don't know if you mean N10007 or N10008. Okay, so give me the exam number, and that's all I need. I will send that off to the nice folks in the appropriate department. And you will hear from them in very short order and have your practice test of choice. So thank you. Congratulations, Christina. All right, questions here. Gratis. Great. Travis Sims is amongst us. Wilson is here. Je suis. Bonjour, je suis David. Yeah, no, not Benjamin Sisko. You know, you got to feel for everybody who has been in Star Trek cast. You just send me down the rabbit hole, but I got time right now. What time is it? Yeah, I got 5 minutes before I got to start project. What happens to them afterward? You find a few of them that get real roles, but basically they either wind up turning up on another Star Trek series or movie or some other typecast sci-fi thing that's got, you know, no real theatrical release. Jerry Ryan perhaps had the only real chance. What happened to Kate Mulgrew? What happened to, I can't think of Ben Sisko's real name now, Avery Brooks, and so forth, right? Brent Spiner, he pops up on a sitcom every now and again. Same for Will Wheaton. But man, dude, I like Star Trek. If they called me up and said, make a guest shot, I would do it, but I would not. Oh man, I need powder on my head. Mrs., would you go and drop that thing a little bit? I got a really shiny forehead. Probably been shiny like that all day long and it's blanking out your screen. Sorry about that. But if they said, hey, congratulations, you're going to be in the cast. A little more, a little more, a little more. That's good right there. Thank you. And we expect the series to run at least 5 years. It's, you have to pay me so much money because I'll never work again. Feeling bad for some of those guys. All right. I love, what a name. Je suis. Just, you know, pick a noun, pick a verb, do it in French, and that's your YouTube name. That's awesome. Vous êtes. Nous sommes. That's if you're a Borg, of course. Who is it? Descartes? Yeah. I am, I think, therefore I am. Je pense. Presque je suis. I don't know what French is for therefore. So we could do it with C. That's if. So, whatever. We're having fun. Andre, congrats. Everybody's giving you congratulations. Yeah, hit that like button, please. Doesn't help me. We don't monetize it. It helps other people find this. So when some poor schlub goes searching on YouTube, man, I wish I knew how to install Doom on a Raspberry Pi. The more likes that I have when they do the search like that, the higher my show will come up in their handy dandy list, and they will get authoritative and fun information on how to do this projet. Oh, je suis Ruby, enchanté. Very good. If only we could put the accent aigu on the A in enchanté. Thank you for that reminder, Wilson. Sci-fi people tend to get stuck in sci-fi. It's true. Okay, well, that winds up questions then. Let's talk about a project. Love projects. And pile up your questions as they go. I'll get onto them when we get back to this. So I got everything set up to do and to demo and so forth. So that's cool. Missing anything here? This week's projects. We're going to install and run Doom on a Raspberry Pi. And the objectives, the CompT objectives that this hits, calculating frame rates, getting multicolors, enjoying different resolutions. There's no singular objective about gaming other than what kind of equipment goes well. And this is just a fun project. I got to do them every now and again. And when I saw, did I tell you where this came across? Maybe I posted this on Discord and got rid of it. No, I think I mentioned this last, I don't know. Nonetheless, I saw somebody do a project a week ago on one of the Reddit forums. They created a handheld Raspberry Pi using Raspberry Pi 2. And the thing that they had on their screen that they took pictures of the demo was Doom. And I thought, oh, okay, he's playing Doom on there. Let's go take a look into this. And when I discovered what was going on and how easy it is, and by the way, you can do it on a Raspberry Pi too. It works fine. I said, we got to do it. We got to do it because A, I like Doom. And B, as I dug into it, it's an easy project. If you don't remember Doom, you're obviously much younger than I am, and most of you are anyways. It's one of the early 3D first-person shooter games, came out in '93 for DOS and Windows Computer. 4 years later, not two, in 1997, id Software, or ID Software, it's all lowercase, released the code. So hobbyist coders piled on, and they started recoding it and transcoding it and so forth to make new game maps and new monsters and characters and weapons and maps. And then they took it a step further by adapting the game engine to run on other operating systems and other hardware architectures and platforms. And right, this is 97. So what do we got there? 25 years later, there've been a lot of tweaks, and it's good. It's perfect. It's awesome. All right, I don't sell any more of that here. Recreating yourself to run on alternative platforms comes with bugs, but they've had 25 years to work out those bugs. So that's cool. Tutorial. The tutorial that I posted, and I'll post up again here in short order, is very complete. It's very thorough. It's very accurate. Does it have a problem? No, it's probably the way I would write a tutorial, kind of the way I speak. It's got a lot of verbiage and pictures in between the steps, but it's a good tutorial. Here, let's throw it up again on the chat feed just for hoots. Chat feed, you are over here. Click, 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 and click. There. All right, that's in there. But again, I've got it all boiled down to a step-by-step in 3 different places in today's document. So, again, a reminder, go hit my web server on weekends or request it to come up on non-weekends, pirsquare.zapto.org. Hey, let's do this. Let's just put a link in here. Dave's web server. Let's call it Raspberry web server. http://pirsquare.zapto.org. All right, so we're going to start our project. I am Dave Rush. This is Drama. Dave Rush Ask Me Anything. We get together every week and do a project with Raspberry Pis, usually associated with studying for certifications and things like that, but sometimes, like today, just for the pure fun of it. All right, lose my notes here. All right, so this is a really easy, quick process. If there is anything long about it, it's if you choose to do a fresh operating system installation. I do that just to have a nice clean platform to work for you. You don't have to do that. You can just take whatever Raspberry Pi you got running right now and do this in a couple of steps. And the steps that you're going to do as far as the game goes, you can do in about 5 minutes. I'll drag it out to half an hour, you know me. But and even if you do a fresh install, they're getting better and better and quicker all the time. I did I started this with an install a week ago or so, and that install took, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, something like that. And I played with it all week, experimented, and then I blasted it all away last night and did a fresh reinstall last night. And maybe I wasn't paying attention, but it seemed to all happen in 10 minutes, less. I don't know. All right, we've talked about many times on how to do an install. If you're not sure, just look through the archives or look through my archive documents, how to install and configure a Raspberry Pi. It's in there. And there's 2 of them. We did one when we started this show back in 2020, and then I did another one in a few months ago, 2-3 months ago, something like that. All right, should read my notes here. Blah, blah. All right, so what do we need here? You need hardware, right? So a Raspberry Pi, anything from Model 2 on up. The newer, the better the performance you'll get. but you don't need a Raspberry Pi 4 with 4 gigs or 8 gigs. 2 gigs is overkill. So any of the models with 1 gig is the sweet spot. So a 3B with a gig, a 4B with a gig, they're just great. But again, even the old 2 with 512 megs runs fine because, you know, it's not a big engine. It was designed to run on computers that had less than a gig of RAM back in those days, 64 megs, 128 megs, stuff like that. So it's a very compact program. Of course, for your Raspberry Pi, you need the usual accessories, a power supply, an enclosure. You need a micro SD card. 16 gig is fine. Do you want a bigger one? Only if you're going to be a game collector and you're going to download lots and lots and lots and lots of games. But the games themselves aren't huge. They tend to be in the under 20 megabyte zone. So a 16 gig card can hold hundreds of WAD files. 32 can hold many, 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 many hundreds, perhaps thousands. A mouse or keyboard is just fine, as is optionally a game controller. Now, again, I kind of mentioned this before, but I'm going to beat this up a little bit. Your best game playing experience for Doom on a Raspberry Pi is to do it directly on a connected monitor, not to do it remotely over VNC or some other remote connection. I'm going to talk about the game controller in a minute. Game controllers are fully supported. I got a game controller here. It's a generic, no name, looks kind of like a Sony one. And by the way, I thought this was, when I bought it, it was missing one button. No, it wasn't. It turns out I didn't realize this at the time. It actually has one more button than I expected. The joystick, maybe I put that in the screen. Can you hear this on the microphone? It's clickable. So not only does it fore, aft, and left and right, starboard and port, but there's more buttons in it that I haven't played with. But what I haven't been able to do yet is to get my controller and the appropriate controls to strafe. So, you know, my character can pivot. He can move forward and backward. Actually, he can move forward and backward. He can't move left and right unless he first turns left and then turns back to the right. So strafing is when you can move left to right without turning first. And I haven't got my controller able to strafe. I can do it on my keyboard. So when I was experimenting this week, I would use both the controller and the keyboard. I'm sure I'll figure it out, and maybe you'll figure it out before I will and pass along the word, right? You can play this over VNC. We're going to do that today. Gameplay is okay. The visuals are blocky. You get a low frame rate. So, but it's doable. Do I care about that? There's all kinds of ports of Zoom. They've been ported for different platforms, and even different people have ported their own version for the Raspberry Pi. There's and for Linux. So for Linux in general, there's a version out there called GZ Doom. The one for Raspberry Pi that's probably the most popular and the one we're going to use today is called Chocolate Doom, and it's called Chocolate-Doom, and that's what we're doing today. So let's get into it. 3.5 steps, an optional 4th step. And it goes like this. We're going to assume you have an installed version of Raspberry Pi OS and a working system. You're going to need, of course, an internet connection. So step number 1 is going to be to install the game engine. One command takes a few seconds. Then you need, it doesn't come with any game files, any WAD files. So you've got to go download and install, not install, basically it's copy in, just download a WAD file. And then you run the configuration utility, so you can configure your mouse and your keyboard and your display and your controller, and you're done. You are now ready to play, and all of that takes a few minutes. The optional 4th step, get more games. And I'm going to, as I said, in my my pirsquare.zapto.org server, I posted the link for that a few minutes ago. Download today's stuff. I got 4 new WAD files in there ready to go. They're not new, but you don't have to go hunt for them online. You can just get them from me. That'll be a little bit of a slow download. My usual archive documents are 1 or 2 megs. This one's 25 megs. It'll probably take you 30 seconds to a minute to do that download compared to the usual 5 or 10 seconds. And then in that download, it has the link of where you can go look online. There are zillions of places that have Doom WAD files. All right, so I started with a clean install of 32-bit Raspberry Pi OS Bullseye. I installed it, I updated it, I upgraded it, I enabled VNC, I set up the headless resolution to 1920 by 1080, rebooted it, I tested SSH and VNC, and that's the state of my system right now. So let me get it shared with you. VNC, did I reboot? Yeah, I rebooted last night. I don't have my VNC stuff up. That's okay. VNC Doom Pi. I called mine Doom Pi for the obvious reason. Oh, did I just hose that? That's all right. Won't hurt anything. Oh, no, there it is. Okay. Okay, login name Pi, password Raspberry, RASPBERRY. I know you can't see it yet. Stand by. You will in veritable seconds. Share screen. Now, everything that I'm about to do can be done by establishing a putty session with it. And of course, you could also do this with, excuse me. Yeah. Oh, direct. Wrong page. Get out of there, you. So I always get scrooched when I do this graphically for you, because I wind up typing in this and instead I wind up typing someplace else. But bear with me for just a moment. So you want to establish an SSH connection or a command line session, a terminal session with your Raspberry Pi. Now I got to bring my notes up, and that's where it gets fun. I can't have the notes and this running at the same time. Okay, establish a terminal connection. So there's 3 ways to do that. You could use the direct connected keyboard, mouse, monitor. Go into the, just power it up and go do what I just did. Click on one of the terminal sessions up here and off you go. Or you could do it the way that I did it. Same process, except I did a VNC connection. Or again, as far as the installation and configuration goes, you have to, you got to have a command line session so you can do that with SSH. But whatever it takes, get into the command line. Oh, that was the other thing I did. This was a fresh install, and I didn't make this visible for you. So stand by. Let's get the text a little bigger and prettier. Select. Okay. All right, that's better. Make that a little bigger. Make that a little bigger. Mucho better, oh yeah. Little doc. Okay. So step number 1 could not be simpler. All you have to do is install Chocolate Doom. They have made it very easy on us, I'm pleased to say, by having Chocolate Doom in the Raspberry Pi Bullseye repository. So all you need to do is type in this command, sudo apt or apt-get if you prefer, install chocolate space doom. And if you add the -y at the end here, it won't prompt you with, hey, I'm going to install this. Are you sure you want to do that? It'll just do it. If you want, though, you can skip the -y. Let's skip the -y and see the warning that it's going to give us. And it's not just a warning. It's not about, are you going to do this? It gives us this information. Hey, when I do install this, it's going to take up 28 megs of space on your hard drive. So that's your reason to, oh gosh, I don't want to do that. I'm almost out of space. Well, if you're down to 28 megs, you're out of space in the year 2022. So yes, here we go. Let's hit the timer on this thing. Okay, my second hand says 45 seconds. Oops, got to hit the enter key. 50 seconds. And we'll count this down. It's only 28 megs. It is downloading it in real time off of the net from the repository, wherever that is physically. We're 10 seconds. Okay, we're 50% into the install. There comes 20 seconds. It's done. 20 seconds and the game is installed. Is that awesome? How many games can you install in 20 seconds in the year 2022? Well, this one. Step next. We don't have any games in here, so we need a game. And the easiest way to do it, I didn't put this game in my archives because I want you to experience how to go get one. The process is to put it in your home folder. So I'm in my home folder. I can tell because my prompt here is a tilde, but if you're not sure, type in the command CD, enter. That moves you to your home directory. If you're still not sure, print working directory. Some people call it present working directory. I did for years. Okay, here I am in home pi. That's cool. That's my home directory. And let's see what's in there right now. Just 9 folders in there. So I'm going to download a file that's a WAD file. Well, at least it's going to be one when I get done. So the command that you're going to put in, this is documented in my archive folder or archive documents, is this. We're going to do a clear, right click paste. So we're going to start with a sudo and we're going to wget. That means get me something off of a website, and then list the website and the path and the something. So the something that it's going to get is a file called shareware _doom _iwad.zip. So I'm going to hit the enter key on that, and he calls out and he's got it. So now I got a zip file that holds a WAD file. There it is, shareware doom iwad zip. So it's time to extract it. So this is step 2. I said there's 3.5 steps. Step 1 is to install the game. Step 2 is to install the WAD file, and it's a 2-step process. 1, we download the zip, and then we extract the zip, or we extract the WAD file from the zip, right? So to do that, there is an unzip utility built into Raspberry Pi OS. I didn't have to install this or anything, I'm happy to say. So we'll clear here and paste in the appropriate zip commands. We're going to sudo unzip and then just the name of the zip file. And it goes buzz, buzz, grind, grind, and it extracted doom1.wad. Now remember, for later, Linux is case sensitive. You could change the case on this if you want, that's fine. But if you're going to use it as is, note that everything must be uppercase. Now, some unzip utilities in Linux, this is just Linux information. So we're going to drag this back into CompTIA objectives and Linux Plus objectives and things like that. Some unzipping and decompressor utilities, when you decompress something, the original compressed file goes away and only the contents are returned. And likewise, if I were to zip it up using certain utilities, only the zip file would exist and the original files that were added to the zip file would be gone. But the unzip utility leaves them both intact. Cool. 2 steps are done out of 3. The next and final step that we've got to do before we're able to play, goodness gracious, I don't understand. I do a show, everybody knows what time I do the show, and that's when everybody needs to contact me and my phone is wonking its head off. Okay, so the last thing that we need to do is to run a setup program, and we're going to tour that. It's real quick, it's real fun, it's real easy. It's called chocolate-doom-setup. And it brings up one of those little blue text menus. I know that text is a little small. I can't make it any bigger. So we'll take what we get. First one is all done by keyboard. So the first one is to configure the display. And here you can either pick full screen or you can go into advanced. And if you're using a smaller screen, like a little portable screen, you can select an alternative resolution. I'm good with that. Enter to select. There we go. Enter is to pick all those other choices. I will keep it at full screen, escape to close. That didn't save here. Enter to select. There we go. All right, now I can escape here once. You can configure sound. These are the same sound configurations that were in the old Zoom configuration menu. You can do PC speaker, you can disable it, do digital if your system has digital output. Raspberry Pis do. Turn on or off the background music. We're not going to hear it because the VNC system that I use doesn't do that, but you get the idea. You can play with this stuff. Configure your keyboard. Which keys by default? Strafe, left and right. So we got commas and periods. To speed up your movement, you can hold down the shift. to turn on and off strafe, you can use Alt. You get the idea. So I'm not going to cover everything on here. You can experiment with this. These are just simple configuration selections that you would run across everywhere. You can do the same thing with your mouse. Pick your fire buttons, pick your motion buttons. This is the one that I want to get into. Oops, I need my notes here, because I got to remember which button is which on that. Where's the D-pad button? There it is, D-pad up. Okay, that's the one I got to know. All right, so I'm going to configure my gamepad / joystick. So controller, and what it tells us to do on the tutorial is in the controller, take your controller, leave it on this thing, and press the D-pad up button. So you got to know which one that is on your controller. In mine, it's on the left 4 button selectors, and it's the top button, the one at 12 o'clock. So I click it. Really, I do. I expected something to turn up there. D-pad left, D-pad down, D-pad right. Now I got to go check my notes because I expected USB to turn up in that list. Notes, notes, notes. That's what I get for doing it off the top of my head. This happens to me all the time, doesn't it? Doom 1, Doom 1, Doom 1. Your settings are saved. Game joystick. I didn't put it in here. I left it on the tutorial. Let's just make sure. D-pad up, D-pad left. I tried all the D-pads. All right, I'm going to look at the tutorial page. Sorry about that, but I really want you to see this. This is kind of important. Not that site, this site. Okay, there it is. Gamepad. Multiplayer Doom. Yeah, multiplayer's in that menu right there. Freedom, Wolfenstein, WADS, touchscreen. We'll go over to the configuration page. There it is, configuration. Oh, they got 2 pictures on their page. One is how to do networking. Okay, user screen to the game controller. You can even start or join a network. Others, when you're done with this configuration, say parameters, Doom, bang, bang. Well, I don't know where I got that from. I did it last time. You might prefer to run Doom in Windows. Sorry, I'm going to find it on here real quick because I need this pad. Gamepad. I must have got that from another page someplace. Okay. Back to you. Where's my shared screen? Oh, it's over here. Okay, VNC shared screen. That is just so weird. T for test. All right, so this brings up a little test thing to test your keyboard and your mouse configurations and all that, but it doesn't quit out of the menu. So my mouse is not working at the moment. Did I unplug it? That could happen. Had all kinds of things going on this Pi in the last 2 days. Seems to be plugged in. Yeah, that looks plugged in. Okay, my keyboard's working. I can pivot, I can fire. Go back into here. I'll try this one more time here. Forward, backwards, axis 1, axis 2, strafe left or right. There's where I missed it. I didn't go in there so I could put in my appropriate keys to get that working here. Oh, there we go. Enter to select, and then center the D-pad or joystick and press a button. Okay, doesn't matter which one you pick. So there we go. Select. There we go. And now it says USB gamepad. So cool. I escape to get out of that menu. Now at this point, you can escape and remember the settings, or we can launch it. I'm going to launch it here. Save parameters and launch Doom. But I'm not going to keep it running because I got other things to show you here. We are effectively done. You can play right now. Just press any button on here. I can say new game. Anybody remember this stuff from when you played Doom 47 years ago? Yeah, we'll do knee deep and I'm not too rough. And I'm playing and I'm moving. And you get the idea here. Where's my fire button? There's my fire button. Let's blow up a barrel. All right. And we quit out of that thing. All right. So there's Doom. That's the installation. It's 3 steps. We install the game. We copy in a WAD file, which is here in my home folder. And you configure it. Then you can play the game. Now, there's 2 ways to play the game. One is up here from the games menu. You can go into games. I can pick Chocolate Doom. We haven't installed Heretic or Hexen or any of that stuff yet. So if you hit those other ones, they're not going to work, but you can launch your game just by hitting that. You can also launch it from the command line. And what you do is you be in the same folder as, that's the easiest way, as your WAD file. So there's my Doom 1 WAD. And there's a word in here that I've got to make sure I get right. No, that's the window. Oh, you can change, you can launch from the command line and change your window parameters as well, your window size. And I'll show you where that goes here. Okay, it's iWAD. So to launch a game manually, it's Chocolate Doom, Chocolate-Doom, and then we're going to say minus iWAD. And then you specify which WAD file you're going to use, case sensitive. Doom1.wad. And there's other parameters you can put after here, like minus window 640 by 480, so forth. And there's lots of others. What's really amazing about Chocolate Doom is you can do chocolate-doom minus help. And it's even got man pages, man space chocolate-doom. So let's fire that guy up and off she goes and off she's running. Nice. New game. You can save games. You can quit games. There's a million other things. You can just watch the demo. And that's one other thing I want to talk about is the demo. There is a demo out there that I can't find. It's called demo.lmp. It's a lump file. And basically an LMP file is a screen capture that you record of gameplay. Well, there was one that the nice folks over at id Software made where they included in the recording Fraps, the utility that tracks your frame rate. And so you would run that by saying Chocolate Doom. And then you have a choice, either play demo and the name of the demo file, the lump file, demo.lmp. It's not in here. I haven't installed it or copied it in. And there's another one that says, I don't remember the text correctly, frame rate, something like that. Time frame. I don't know. You can look it up. Oh, here, let's do it this way. Minus help. Oh, stop it. Try to run a game. We'll get there. Hang on. Okay, here's all the settings. Fine. Man, chocolate demo. I could go back to my notes and just read it, right? But we're having fun. This is a real Linux world thing. I didn't install the man page. You got to do that manually after the fact. Fine. Nonetheless, there's some demo stuff out there that will show you the frame rate. Now, the good news is these were designed for video cards a million years ago that didn't support the kind of frame rates that we do today. In fact, the Doom game itself is capped at a maximum frame rate of 35 frames per second. Well, for those people who've gone to the trouble to track frame rates on Raspberry Pis, the slow Raspberry Pis are running 30, like on the Pi 2, Pi 3s and above, all hit the cap of 35. So you can't get any better than that. All right, the only other thing left to talk about is, Dave, where can I get more WAD files and what do I do if I get them? So what you do is you copy them into your home folder. And I think I can show you that process. This will be a little bit fun. So let me stop this share. How am I doing on time? Yeah, it's only 29. I got plenty of time to do this. Let me set up something here so I can get you to the right place. WAD files. All right, so I'm in a place that's got a bunch of WAD files. Let me create a terminal session in here, and then I'll share it with you. All right, that's a good place to share. Click this, click that, share screen, this one. All right, so in my archive documents, I have these 4 files. If you just download that stuff from byarsquare.zapto.org, you'll find a folder in that zip file called WAD files or something like that. And these are the 4 files that are in there. And we're going to put these in the home folder of my Raspberry Pi, right? This is my Windows machine. So I'm going to say SCP. That's going to be secure copy using the SSH protocol. star.wad. This is Windows. I don't have to uppercase it here, but the case that they are in here is what's going to turn up over there. And then use the account called Pi at the IP address of my Raspberry Pi server, 192.168.1.101. And then the folder that I want to put it in, home folder. And so this is going to do an SSH login using the account Pi. So he prompts me for the password. It's Raspberry, RASPBERRY, bam. Now you can see one of these files is pretty big, 14 megs relative to the other ones. The other ones are much smaller, 12, 17, 14. Now I guess they're all about the same size, but there we go. There's a 14 meg, 12 meg, 17 meg, 17 meg. I'm done with this. Those files are now back in the Raspberry Pi where they should be. So let's go over there and let's see how to use them. Back to share, my friend. Very good. Go you. Share screen. So this is optional step 4. Add more WAD files. So here's the original one that was in there, doom1.wad. We put in doom 2, doom 3, plutonia, and TNT. So these, I don't have them on here. You can do that, but I'm just going to do it from the command line. Chocolate wad, chocolate doom minus iwad, and then the name case sensitive for one of these other ones. So let's do doom 3. Doom 3 dot wad, all uppercase. Well, and not found. What did I do? How did I typo that? I played this yesterday, I promise. I know. What did you do? Read this. iWad. Chocolate Doom, iWad, game file WAD. It's case sensitive. Joystick is network subsystem is in. File end not found. I wonder if I mangled that file when I saved it. Let's try Doom 2. Oh, wait a minute. Now I got to stop. I think it might have worked. Nope, didn't work. Okay, let's do 2. There we go. Okay, so you see the Roman numeral 2 pops up here. So it's Doom 2. It's a totally different WAD file. We just start with a new game. Pick your level of difficulty. And that's the first map. And we say, bye-bye, bad guys. Whoops, come on. I'm not using my controller. I'm using that. All right, so there may be a problem with the Doom 3 WAD file. I'll take a look at it, but I did play it yesterday. So If it's a problem, I'll fix the archive. That is how to install and play Doom on a Raspberry Pi. Couldn't get more cool, couldn't get more fun, couldn't get more easy. Let's go back and see what popped up whilst I was talking. Was there anything else I want to talk about in here? You can save games. You can launch network games. You can launch from the GUI. You can launch from the command line. We've shown all that. You can improve oh yeah. So if you do want to play it remotely over VNC, you saw mine's a little blocky and the gameplay is a little slow. The frame rate's down. Easy fix for that. Change the resolution. You can either use that configuration screen or maybe back it down to 1280 by 720 instead of 1920 by 1080. And that will definitely help play. You can make it really small, 640 by 480. Okay, I talked about the lump files. I talked about demo.lump. Okay, so I'm going to put a link on the chat feed right now on where to get those 4. If you don't want to get them from my archive document, or my server's not up this week and you don't want to contact me and say, Dave, please bring it up, I want to get that stuff, then here's another way. This is where to go get the original source files. Go over here. These are 4 WAD files. That all fit just lovely. And you'll find a lot more games and WAD files out there. And again, if you go look at that, at the original tutorial, they have tons and tons and tons and tons of sites and links listed where you can get more WAD files and more game files. Yeah, Doom WAD's wiki page, Doom WAD station, Doom WAD's forum, and on and on. And all this stuff is similarly documented in my archive documents, and the links are in there as well. So let's put it back together. It's a 3.5-step process to get it running, an optional 4th. Step 1, sudo apt install chocolate-doom. That took 20 seconds for us. Then download a WAD file that's a zip with a wget command, and then unzip it with sudo unzip. And now you run the configuration utility, step 3, chocolate-doom-setup, configure it, and you're ready to play. It'll be in the GUI menu. It'll be run from the command line. And then at your option, go get more WAD files, copy them into your home directory, and you are cooking with gas. That's a shame. I'm done with this project. I'm going to wind up deleting this after today because I'm shuffling 5 micro SD cards in and out of this Pi right now for projects and work. What a pain. So then it'll only be 4. All right, let's go see the chat feed, see what's going on there. Chat feed right here. Not much new came up, I think. Can't you play Doom on just about anything? You absolutely can play Doom on just about anything. The question is how. So the nature of today's project is how to do it on a Raspberry Pi. Jose Frias is here. Hola, mi amigo. Better never than late. No, better late than never. That's what you're saying. I agree. We need to start an online fund to get Dave a nice new camera. It's not the camera. It's the bandwidth of my laptop. I'm sorry about that. Dave will get a new laptop this year that will have much more RAM. I've only got 8 gigs in this thing, and it won't take any more. It won't support Windows 11 through everything I've done. It needs a more powerful processor. It's an old laptop. This laptop is banging on 5 or 6 years old now. So time for update. No, I don't want people chipping in and getting me anything. Does the audio work on the Pi? It absolutely works on the Pi. I probably should have hooked up a speaker or a headphone and put it over the microphone, but yeah, it works great. Yeah, you always start out with the pistol, and if you run out of ammo, you can use weapon 0, which is punching. I didn't try that on any of these tests. 320 by 200. Yeah, CGA. Man, that's an old memory. That's nice. You did a good memory for me there. Chris Kent, Fury, Ion Fury, absolutely. Yeah, if I do another game on here, it'll probably be Wolfenstein, the old Wolfenstein. Maybe you need to invent an AB switch to have Pi externally choose bootable SD cards. I did. That's my big super secret project. It is well in development, including the patent work. Yeah, it's really cool. Man, you read my mind. And it's really cool because the way I designed it, it's a 1-for-2. You can put 2 SD cards in here and switch between them and boot from them, or you can cascade them. So here's a live SD card, here's 2 more, or no card here, an expansion box here, an expansion box here. It gets nuts. It's really, really amazing. At 3:39, Christina Strickland said, I was under the understanding that if it had a screen and something that resembled buttons, it could run Doom. Pretty much right. You run out of weapons, IDKFA, yepper. Good Lord. I'm not reading those out loud. All right, well, if you got any more questions or comments or whatever you want to throw up, by all means, throw them up. I'm going to check final notes here. I want to talk about what's going on next week with Mike's shows and my shows and things like that. And it's 20 till. We've done all the contests, so may wind up just a hair early. Notes. Okay, time permitting. Upcoming episodes. So as I said, I'm going to keep Whiptail in my pockets. I've got some other things that have come up. Andrew and I we're behind the 8 ball getting ready for Nessus because of our myriad other projects, book writing and things going on with the company. And I'm doing next generation Sims. It's busy. Let's see. But when we do it, it'll be a joint show. Oh, I didn't make notes on some of the other things that I have in my pocket. Man, what a shame. I'm going to bring that up. I got time. But things I do want you to be aware of. Monday, this coming Monday, 3 days from now, May 2nd, the 2nd day of May in 2022, Mike will be in studio. He's not going to do a remote over at Melissa's. And I know that because I sent him a message today that says, Mike, you have to be in studio to do your show on Monday because Jessica Dickerson is going to join him in studio. Jessica was on with him years ago in 2020. She is an IT security professional, an IT professional, and is very closely involved with HR. So she's going to talk to us about how to find that IT job or that IT security job with the credentials that you're going to talk to her. I only have passed my core 1. I have no college and I've never touched a computer. Can I get a job as vice president of IT and expansion? And she'll tell you yes and where to look, or no and what you ought to do as your next step. And hey, I've got these credentials. Where should I be looking? She has great sources of job hunts that don't cross our paths every day, right? You play in the LinkedIn environment and the Indeed and the Monster and the Career Builder and all of those goodies. She's got a handle on where the IT focused jobs are. You'd be looking at Dice, not Snowflake, the Clearance. There's one that if you are military and have IT background and non-IT background, they are headhunters basically and recruiters for various government organizations that say, we'll hire people, but they already have to have a clearance. We don't want to go through the hassle of getting them through a new clearance. In the US, clearances are just taking forever right now, 6 months to a year sometimes. Then, 9 days later, Mike's got another show in studio with special guest Elaine Batzer. She is an IT instructor at the Essex North Shore. Tellwood, sorry, I sidetracked on here. This was an answer to a question, a contest a couple of years ago. In fact, it was when Elaine was on. And if I remember right, Tellwood came up with the answer. She teaches at a school called Essex North Shore Agriculture and Technical School. It's in Ipswich, Mass. She is an IT instructor guru. She's CCNA and teaches CNA courses and so much more. Obviously, all the CompTIA stuff. She's great at prepping people for that job, that for those kinds of jobs that are available for people with educations that they get in school. So if they walk out with A+ and Net Plus, or maybe a CCNA, here's the job market for you. Here's where you should be looking. So not only is she great to talk tech with, she's great to talk how to get my job with. Excuse me. Something is really strange on my screen. I'm terrified to click it. So I won't. Oh, I know what that is. Okay, it's safe. I'm going to bring up another document because I just added some cool things. You're not going to see this. I'm just going to read it to you, but I want you to have this. I want you to know about it. Where is projects, file, Pyr Square, Zapto? Oh, that's not where you find documents. This is where you find documents. Where's feature? There it is. Drama feature ideas. So I have some new features that I added to my upcoming list very, very recently. And these are going to supersede some, in fact. Possible we do a ticketing system. If we do, it's called TrueDesk. I got to figure out the problem, the workaround, and the articles that are all out of date and what the new stuff is. But if that happens, pretty cool. I'm thinking about an e-ink project. I try to avoid things where you have to buy hardware to do a cool project, but e-ink displays are displays that tend to be black and white. They're electronic ink. And what that means to us is, compared to LEDs and LCDs, they light up very slowly and they unlight up very slowly. It's not slow. It's not like lighting up a pixel, darkening out a pixel. It happens quicker than you can see it happen, but it's not nearly as quick as faster technologies. But those are great for making monitors with status screens. How many blocked domains did my Pi-hole do today? Things like that. So looking at making an e-ink project, some really cool things you can do with that. Not going to do that one. What is this one? Oh man, does this look like an interesting one? Andrew Hutt's got me started researching this one. I did a little further research on here. How about turning a Raspberry Pi into a password thief? Now the trick with this thing is you got to make a Raspberry Pi and you have to plug it into a Windows computer, into the USB port of it. So, if you're talking about a full-size Raspberry Pi, it's got to convince somebody that it belongs there. There's a lot of people who are developing these password thieves on the smaller Raspberry Pis and putting them in creative cases. But the trick here is, what kind of password are we going to take? It can get the password that you use to log into your Windows computer. That's quite a little hack and doesn't take any hardware. So I am definitely going to do that project. It's probably going to be a 2-episode project. It's very, very cool. We got Run Doom on here. We got TrueDesk. And there was somebody said, hey, how about this thing? And I said, yeah, I just wrote that down. I've just added it. And wherever I added it, it's not here at the end of this file. So, I know what I did with it, because I already had a project in mind with that name. And this was new updated information, a new updated project. We did crack Wi-Fi. That was cool. We haven't installed Jellyfin yet. That's coming up. Got a hardware project on my list, an 8-bit LED binary counter. That may be a little too much electronics. But anyways, those are 4 projects that I definitely have coming up in short order, plus Nessus. Oh, we've got the Docker thing. I'll be doing a GitLab to be sure. So lots of really, really cool things coming up. All right, last checkup for questions, and then we're going to close things down here. Questions. So Mike says, someone did Doom on the COVID test that had screens. Okay, I like that. There are only cheat codes. Oh, they're cheat. Oh, they are only cheat. Okay. Yeah, I know. Christina Strickland, it's been many moons since I played Doom. We put it on small calculators and would trade games around. How fun. Is this like Sims 7? Let me tell you about the Sims project. I got 10 minutes. So some of you have seen this, our Sims. We call them Total Sims at Total Seminars. It's a self-contained product that initially started out where we were just going to create some of the PBQs that you might run into. Of course, we wouldn't duplicate them. They would have variances so that nobody would say we were plagiarizing or exposing CompTIA secrets. But then this project ballooned and we made Sims that weren't just things that you may encounter, but they were also cool teaching tools that would add to our other educational tools. So Total Sims comes with 4 types of simulations. They have names. We call them clicks, shows, types, and challenges. A click sometimes demonstrates and then has you repeat, and sometimes we'll do it in a demonstration in another place and then you fire into a click. And it's basically a little simulator where you're going to mouse everything. You're going to type some stuff in. Now click here. And sometimes it comes with instructions. Move your mouse over to the start button and left click it 1 time. And sometimes we just walk you through 7 steps. Here's a 7-step project. We do this. We move our mouse here. We click this. We type this. Now we do this. And then when that's all done, it moves you to the next phase. Now you do what we just did. And it comes with hints and kinks if you can't do it. So that's cool. So those are clicks. Shows are basically little screen capture narrated videos. That's what I do. And that's what my missus does. She runs the computer while I narrate what she's doing to a script. So she's got the script. She knows to move the mouse over here. And I say something like, Sally goes to check on good script writing, huh? Sally checked on the status of a user's connection who reports they're having problems on the wireless network. She right clicks on the such and such icon on the network icon and selects tools. And that at the same time is happening in real time on the capture screen. So that's fun. That's shows. Challenges are close to the real world PBQs. They've got pictures of computers and menus, and you drag this over here and you type this into there, and they may or may not look like real world screens. We make our own images and things like that. Those are cool. And our challenges are very, very close in many cases to Sims, to PBQs that you run into. And type is a creation of Michael Smyers. He created a sandbox with a bunch of simulated commands in there from the command line of Windows, ipconfig with various switches and ping and all kinds of other commands in there. So it's really cool. When you're running that, you can't hurt anything. It's kind of like being in a virtual machine, but it's even more constrained than that. If you destroy it, it's a program. All you're doing is destroying a data area inside the program. You hit the reset button and poof, everything is running again. So take a look at Total Sims if you're studying for A+, Net+, Sec+, those are what we got them for. Right now, what we're working on is the new N10008 Sims. We'll have those done in short order. And then as the book progresses, we're already starting to write scripts for the Sims, for Total Sims, for the new A+ stuff. And immediately after that, we'll be staring down the barrel of the latest Sec+, which I don't think currently has Sims. 346, Tullowood. Funny thing, most of the times I've won have been on non-tech questions, like Mike's middle name. Yeah, I remember that one too. We need a soldering class, huh? Yeah, I'd do that. I closed that file, but I will mention that in Discord. I'll read that and I will put that in my list. Oh, wait a minute. No, I got a file here that I got a note-taking file right there. Notes. How to solder. Save it. Cool. Thanks, Hollywood. Good suggestion. One of my PBQs on A+, says Will Shaw at 353, was almost exactly like one of your challenges. Almost exactly being the key word. We don't duplicate. But yeah, if you know our stuff, our simulations, they are very, very, very helpful on the actual exam. Pirate Chronicles. Saw you the other day on Mike's show. Hi, Dave. How are you? I am well. Many thanks. I know your topic is about Doom on Raspberry Pi. Of course you can ask an A+ question. That's really the nature of what we do here. So what do you got? I'll stick around here for a second and get my other pages lined up, ready to go for what I'll be doing in short order. Yeah, ask away. We'll do dead air until he posts his questions. No, I don't think. What did you just do? Goodness gracious. I shrunk my notes. I don't need them. We're closing down. And I think I've got my closing spiel finally memorized. Okay, Pirate Chronicles. I failed my recent test, scored in the high 500s. How many questions did I miss approximately? All right, so I'm going to presume that you're talking about A+, one of the 2 A+ courses. And in theory, there's 900 total points, and you can't get less than 100. If you sign in, you get 100 points. So that leaves 800 points to work with. So we've worked out a theory, and it's just a theory. Back before there were PBQs, you got 90 questions to get 800 theoretical maximum points. So that's not very far off from 10 points a question, right? 9 points a question, probably a little bit closer to the answer. And then having taken the test many times ourselves and getting reports from other people, we have a general sense that for each sim question that you get 5 to 10 less questions than if you got all regular multiple choice questions. So our general theory is it's about 9 points for a regular multiple guess question, and anywhere from 40 to 50 points potentially all available on a PBQ. So that's kind of how we figure out our math. So let's say you got in the high 500, let's call it 600 for round numbers. And let's say the passing score was 720. So yeah, so you're 120 points off. If it was all multiple choice questions, probably 12 or so questions out of however many questions you got. So if you're the type who skips all the PBQs, you may have thrown away 40 points for each one. So if you make sure you spend a little time on those PBQs if you've got the time, because you get partial credit for them. They never take points away for getting anything wrong or doing anything wrong. And so you can only add points if you do PBQs. That's my general theory of what you got there. Hope that works for you. Right. CompTIA has never explained how many points anything is worth. You need to buy your sim product. I just got my report. Okay, congratulations on it. So yeah, that report is a really valuable tool. Mike doesn't see it the way I see it, but I think that it's just one of the most important tools you get, because you can go look at the subdomains. It tells you every subdomain that you missed a question in, and then you can go back to your study materials that they're organized by domains. Our book is organized and identifies in one of the index every domain and every subdomain that every page talks about. So if you missed a question on subdomain 6.2 special IP addresses, you go into our book index and you look up 6.2 special IP addresses, and then it'll say this is talked about on page 320 and page 719 and page 719 and 720. You get the idea. Every place that we talk about that subdomain is in there. We don't have that kind of granularity on our video courses. Sorry about that. It's just not possible or practical to do that. It's kind of painful just to do it in the book, but there you go. All right, well, let's wind this puppy up. What do I need to do here to wind things up? I got to click on this and click on that. And then, so my eternal gratitude, of course, as ever, to Mike Myers and everyone at Total Seminars who so generously provides us with time and resources to get together with you. And most importantly, my gratitude and thanks goes to everyone who comes here to participate. I am Dave Rush. I'm the senior instructor at Total Seminars and resident PI specialist. I'm wishing you a great weekend. Take care of each other. Take serious steps to stay healthy. maybe I shouldn't just do this today. Call or visit your parents. That's the most important thing I ever want you to walk away from. And never forget, technology is great, but the greatest resource we have are you and I. So with that, good night. I'm going back to work. I'm not going over to Discord. I'll take a quick look at it, but I can't participate in it. But I hope you will. I'll see you at Mike's AMA. Remember, on Monday, he's got Jessica Dickerson in person in studio. And until Monday, I be out of here. Thanks, everybody.